Hello my dear students, how are you? Welcome to our today's online class. Today we will discuss about chapter 12 of our Buddhist religion and moral education book, the daily activities and duties of the Buddhist bhikkhus and devotees. Everyone has to perform some daily duties systematically in order to live a beautiful life. Some of the works are related with the physical fitness. Some are for living religious and moral life. Some are related with education and earning. These are commonly known as daily work and daily religious rites. There are some daily religious rites for the monks and the Buddhists to be performed. Besides, there are some instructions of Buddha which are mandatory to perform. In this chapter, we will learn about the daily religious rites and mandatory instructions for the monks and the Buddhists. By the end of this chapter, we will be able to describe the daily religious rites and instructions for the monks, mention essential doings for the monks, describe the obligatory daily religious rites and instructions, and explain the contents and teaching of the Shabda Aparihaniya with its background. The lessons of this chapter are the daily activities and the duties of the Buddhist monk, daily activities and duties of the laities, rules for the householders, and the 7 conditions for welfare. In our today's class, we will discuss about Lesson 1, the daily activities and the duties of the Buddhist monks. The persons who have accepted the order of the religious mendicants giving up the domestic life are known as the bhikkhus or monks, samaneras in the Buddhism. Their object is to maintain the state of continence and chastity and to seek the way to nirvana. It is also the duty of the bhikkhus and the samaneras to propagate the Buddhist doctrine to all people. Tathagata Buddha summoned this in his Dhammachakra Pravattan Sutra. He instructed many rules and regulations for the bhikkhus and samaneras for living a beautiful life. These have been depicted in the Vinaya Pitaka. Anyone can have the entrance to the Buddhist Sangha by becoming bhikkhu or samanera, but they cannot be samanera until the age of 7 and cannot be the bhikkhu if his age is less than 20. Samanera means apprentice. To become a samanera, one has to be ordained in samanera dhamma and take order of a religious mendicant. He has to be introduced to the rules of the continence and chastity has to be complied with them. After that, one can be the bhikkhu from the samanera. Buddha has directed some deeds and instructions as mandatory for the bhikkhus and the samaneras. These are known as daily religious rites and instructions. The description of the daily religious rites and instruction of the bhikkhus and the samaneras are like the 10 precepts or Dashila. The samaneras have to accept 10 precepts or Dashila with Trisharana every day. The observance of the 10 precepts is compulsory daily religious rites for the samaneras. The 10 precepts are to avoid the following habits of like killing, theft, adultery, telling lies, drinking of wine, eating food in the afternoon, passion for music and dance, using perfumes and garlands, lying down in luxurious bed, and acceptance of gold and silver. The thought of supervision. The bhikkhus and the samaneras should think about the food, dwelling places, clothes, and medicine, the 4 basic elements essential for maintaining life before taking them. These are known as the thoughts of supervision. There are four kinds of thoughts. There are four kinds of the thought of supervision, like the thought of supervision about chibara. The bhikkhus and the samanera have to think about the wearing of chibara in that way. I'm wearing this chibar to protect from the bites of the insects, reptiles, to prevent cold and hot, dust and shame, not to create pancha kamaguna. Number 2 is thought of supervision about pindapata. The bhikkhus and the samaneras have to think during eating food in that way. I am eating food only to maintain life, not to beautify the body and to increase physical strength. Number 3. Thought of supervision about sayana shana. The bhikkhus and the samaneras have to think in this way while lying down. This lying down is only to prevent cold and heat, to protect from the attacks of insects, bites, dust, sun rays, and to accomplish the concentration of the mind, not to pass time unnecessarily in idleness or sleep. And the last one is the thought of supervision about gilano protyay. Bhikkhus and the samaneras have to think in that way while taking medicine. I am taking this medicine according to the requirement to cure disease. There is no other bad intention. The thoughts of supervision while taking the mentioned basic elements are called the present thought of supervision. Then, the 4 things which should not be done. The bhikkhus and the samaneras have to abstain themselves from doing 4 things which are known as chari akaraniya. These are 1. Not to commit adultery, 2. Not to commit theft, 3. Not to kill living beings, and 4. Not to claim as having supernatural power. The 4th instruction was introduced during the famine at Vaishali. Food. The bhikkhus eat single meal a day, but they have to finish eating meal before noon or before 12 o'clock. Generally, the bhikkhus and the samaneras live on begging, but the bhikkhus and the samaneras can take meal going to the house of the common people if they are invited on the occasion of religious festivals. Then, let's know about the articles of everyday use. The 3 robes or 3 chibaras such as shanghati, uttara shangha and antarbash, alms bowl, razor, needle and thread, girdle and water strainer are the 8 daily necessary articles that can be used by the bhikkhus and the samaneras. Buddha has directed that these articles are sufficient for the bhikkhus and the samaneras to live. The practice of self-control. Receiving of gold and silver is absolutely forbidden for the bhikkhus. If any laity offers those, the bhikkhus cannot possess them. Either he has to return it to the giver or donate it to others. If he donates this to the layman, he can take other articles of daily necessaries in exchange. But the bhikkhus cannot take them for themselves. He can take these things for other bhikkhus or the bhikkhu sangha. The bhikkhu sangha can take the immovable things like land, monasteries for the development of the rule of Buddha. The kings, emperors, and laymen donated in this way during the time of Buddha. But these properties will be counted as the properties of the Sangha. Pancha Bhavana or the 5 thoughts. The Pancha Bhavana or 5 thoughts is a bhavana of meditation that is to be done every day by the bhikkhus and the samaneras. These are Metta Bhavana, Karuna Bhavana, Mudita Bhavana, Ashubha Bhavana, Upekha Bhavana. These are known as Pancha Bhavana or 5 thoughts. Jnana and Samadhi. Jnana and Samadhi are the parts of everyday activities of the bhikkhus and the samaneras. The concentration of mind is not possible without the practice of meditation. Men are easily entrapped by desires, greed, malice, illusion and longing always chase us. Human mind remains restless due to this. Mind is restless by nature and is alert both by good and evil. If it is not possible to control that kind of mind, the emancipation from craving is not possible. For that reason, wise men try to control their minds. The object of meditation is to control the mind. The restless mind is to be made settled and concentrated through the meditation. The bhikkhus and the samaneras have to attain the concentration of mind through the daily practice of meditation. This is the first stage of meditation. To attain salvation, one has to be surpassed for such stages. The practice of meditation instructed by Buddha is known as vipassana. The ceaseless practice of the purpose of attaining salvation, being free from illusion, is known as samadhi. Samadhi starts from the second stage. Let's know about obligatory duties for the bhikkhus. The bhikkhus have to comply with 227 precepts or shilas. An elaborate explanation of these precepts, which are obligatory for the bhikkhus, is found in the Patimokkha. The bhikkhus have to recite the Patimokkha at least twice in a month, on a full moon day, on the 14th day of the dark fortnight. Most of the precepts described in the Patimokkha are delivered at Raja Geha. These precepts are known as the precepts for the bhikkhus or the bhikkhushila, as these are instructed for the bhikkhus. The precepts have been divided into 8 types according to the importance, like Parajika, Shanghadeshesh, Aniya, Nishagya, Pachittiya, Patideshaniya, Shekhiya and Adhikarana Shamatha. The bhikkhus have to maintain the rules and regulations depicted in the Patimokkha. Lord Buddha, in his last advice before the great passing away, directed to perform duties without losing self-control. He also said that so long the bhikkhu sangha will follow the right path having self-control, the Shadhamma or true religion will be continued. Advising the beloved disciple Ananda not to lament, he said, "Be yourself your lamp, be your own shelter, don't be dependent upon others. Attain superiority by taking refuge in religion." Buddha has given the highest priority to the Dhamma and Sangha, the carriers of the Dhamma, in his absence. Dear students, I hope you got a clear concept about the daily activities and the duties of the Buddhist monks or bhikkhus. Practice this lesson and read line by line carefully. If you face any problem, you can contact with me directly, or you can also comment in our Google Classroom. The other lessons of this chapter we will discuss about in our next class. That's all for today. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy and stay with study. Good luck.